Hey there, and welcome back to this random SL1 playthrough of Dark Souls 3. Last time we went ahead and did the Ariandel DLC, and it wasn't as bad as I expected it would be, so that's cool, but, well, it was still kind of a pain in the ass. So today we're going to head on into dreg heap, and we're going to keep going on from there. So I started out by doing some shopping from the old lady, and I bought her embers as well as her blessing, and also some rusted gold coins. Probably won't be needing them, but I just picked them up in case. Well, the embers I will need probably, because it's always good to have more of them. Anyway, so you just take these drops over here, and eventually you're taken down to this little place where you're going to get attacked by skeletons, and over here is this shiny you can pick up, except, oh wait, it actually breaks from underneath you, and then you fall all the way down. So I went ahead to try and pick it up, and I did manage to pick it up, but I also got grabbed by this skeleton coming from the ground, so after getting out of his clutches, I ended up dying by the projectile the other one shot. So I respawned and I went ahead and used an ember because I figured I probably wouldn't stand much chance of survival without it, and instead of taking those drops over there, you can just drop right from over here and you're taken straight to the bottom, so that's a little shortcut for you. So after breaking through the glass again, I picked up my souls. I managed to avoid getting grabbed this time, and a little further ahead is the first angel, and these guys suck because they can kill you really freaking quickly, and if you get hit you basically have no opportunity to heal, otherwise you just die. So I went over here and picked the ring of steel protection, and that was death number 2, and the first one of many to these guys. Also there was this funny glitch over here, so that was cool. So anyway, after making my way back and getting past the angel, there's this room with the 2 Lothric Knights over there, so you can fight them, but there's really no point. And also, if you come a little further, this pillar is going to break off and is going to destroy the wall, so you can head back into the room with the Lothric Knights, get jump scared by one of them, but somehow avoid getting hit. You can also pick up these souls over here, and there's the pillar that broke off, and past it is this guy, who's actually just Patches, but not really, but kind of. Well, forget about him, he doesn't matter, so just move on and drop over here instead. And afterwards you can drop down here as well, and a little further ahead's the Lothric War Banner. Probably not going to use it, but it's there if you want to, and that's the next bonfire. So past the bonfire is of course another angel, and there's also this giant pit of poison, and as you can see when you try to heal, that's what happens. So I ended up dying a couple of times to this guy because I wanted to get the Ring of Favor +3 right over here. It turns out that there's really no point because it's not that good. And then I got murdered by a thrall, so that was fun. And I got killed by an angel again, and eventually I came over here because I wanted to do something, and I got jump scared by this thrall over here, and he ended up killing me as well. So after making my way back, I eventually got killed again, of course, and then I started making my way back, and I started rolling like an absolute madman, and it somehow actually worked. I have no idea why, but it did, so that's all that matters. So anyway, I'm going to head back to where I was, and I'm going to avoid getting murdered by this guy over here. So past these rooftops is this branch you can drop down, and afterwards is this thing which you can kill, and killing it kills the angel as well, so thank God for that. So you can drop back down on this branch over here in order to get back on the right path, where you'll come across this guy, which you should go ahead and kill because he deserves it, I suppose. So eventually there's these guys over there, and well, you know what to do, you just pretend they don't exist and you roll past them. And eventually you'll come across this branch, and that's where you need to go, so you'll also have this angel over there shooting you, but it's not that big a deal, so make your way over here where the branch splits in two and take the path that goes down so you can actually move on instead of just letting yourself be exposed to the angel for longer. And here's the third and final bonfire of this area. So with all of that behind me, I'm going to sit at the bonfire in order to replenish my Estus, and now it's time for the boss, the Demon Princes. Well, it's the Demon Prince, but he starts off as 2 non-Demon Princes. It's weird anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and buff, as usual, of course, with the grass and the gold pine resin, and it's time to get started, but obviously there's going to be a bunch of dying before I actually, you know, pull through. So attempt number 8, and this is the successful one actually, so Just in case you weren't aware, this took really freaking long because this fight takes forever. It doesn't look that bad right now, but well, you'll see. So for the demons, you generally want to try to be under them as much as possible because that's where most of their melee attacks will actually just go straight past you and whiff completely. So eventually the other demon in the back will scream, and when he does that, that means he's decided he's going to go melee as well. So after that point it's a melee 2v1, so you'd best just run away to make sure you don't get your ass smacked too hard. And then a short time later, one of the demons will smack the ground and cause a giant explosion, and that means he's actually going to go ranged phase. So at this point you'll have a 2v1 with one ranged and one melee, so that's your time to hammer in some massive damage on the melee one. So you generally want to try to stay as far away from the ranged guy as possible, because that's when he'll use his attack that leaves a trail on the ground that shows you exactly where it's going to hit you, so you can just roll out of the way and it's a lot easier this way. So if you're aggressive enough, you'll eventually be able to stun the boss and get a crit for some juicy damage. And as you can see, the demon in pain, the top health bar is almost dead, and he's the one you want to kill first, because if you kill the other one second, then second phase will actually be much easier. So now that he's dead, I can focus on the demon from below all alone. So I'm going to be using his transformation back into melee phase in order to get some damage in on him, because that's just a big opening basically, and I'm just going to keep hammering away until hopefully a crit, I imagine, but I don't remember if I actually get one or not. So we just keep on going and make sure you stay below him in order to avoid all his attacks, but generally try to roll as well just in case. And if you can, you want to try and roll between his legs to get behind him, because that's where you're safest, and that's also when you can start getting in some real damage. So anyway, first phase is done, but well, just in case you weren't aware, there's a second phase, and it's going to be a lot harder. So I'm going to buff back up while I'm waiting for the second phase transformation to finish, and afterwards I'm going to run in immediately and just start whacking him. And as you can see from this health bar down there, I'm not doing anywhere near as much damage as I used to. So yeah, second phase is a lot longer and a lot harder as a result. So second phase is pretty similar to the first one with much of the same attacks, but there are a couple of new ones, and the demons also has the tendency to just jump away from you like this, and if he doesn't charge up an attack while in the air, that means he's going to do his super special attack, and this is why you want to kill the demon from below second, because doing so grants you the laser demon, which gives the laser attack, which is a lot more punishable than the other option. So it is still possible to get some crits on them during second phase, but it doesn't deal anywhere near as much damage, so it's not as big a deal as it was in the first phase. When he slams one hand into the ground like this, he shoots out a trail of fire that will probably hit you if you roll backwards, so try to roll to the sides to avoid that. He'll also occasionally do this attack where he'll jump into the air and shoot a fireball at the ground. Well, it's not that bad. There's also this slam attack, which can actually one-shot you if you get hit by the explosion and the slam, so try to watch out for that. He will also occasionally jump in the air and fly down, scraping the ground with his claws, and this attack leaves a trail of fire on the ground, so you want to roll to the sides in order to avoid getting roasted. He will sometimes throw some small fireballs like that, but it's really no big deal. You just roll through them and that's whatever, so eventually I'm going to get another crit, and he's almost dead at this point, so I just have to hope that I don't die like I did that one attempt where I told myself that I had it and then I got smacked into the ground and got one-shotted, so that was fun. So I should just have to dodge a few attacks here and then I'll be able to get a couple more hits and finish him off, so that's exactly what I did, even though I did get hit, which could have been really bad if I hadn't managed to dodge everything else. So I'm going to get his soul and pick up my souls, my 360 of them, and I'm also going to get 100,000 souls from them, so that's cool, but there isn't much I need to buy anymore, so whatever. So anyway, light the bonfire. So after this, you can come over here and pick up this banner, which you'll be able to use over here in order to get placed into the Ring City, which is the main part of the DLC. There's also this Titanized Jail here if you want it, but it's not really necessary. So anyway, that's going to be where I end it for today, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If not, sorry. If you did, that's cool. I did my outro backwards, but who cares?